there are a lot of stories behind. You know, one of the key technologies behind the foldable smartphone is called flexible displays. So we came up with the idea of flexible display back to many years ago, actually back to 2006 when I was still a PhD student in Stanford. At that time, it was just a dream, a pure dream. No reference, no existing technologies. So we have to think about everything from the scratch. And it was until 2012, we came up with a new idea about how we can possibly make the flexible display in a scalable way. So we decided to found a company called Royole with two of my friends from Stanford and Tsinghua. The mission was to improve the way people interact with the world. And we spent another 2 years doing the very fundamental R&D to make the prototype. And in 2014, we introduced the first 0.01 millimeter flexible display with a bending radius of about 1 millimeter. And in the meantime, we introduced a flexible sensor technology, which could be thin, flexible, and transparent. In 2015, we launched a flexible electronics production line in Shenzhen for the consumer device. At that time, we also launched the first consumer device in our company called 3D movie headset, Royole. And then in 2016, we initiated a project for the fully flexible display production line with a total investment of $1.7 billion. And in 2017, we introduced the Flexible Plus technology platform for our global business clients in 6 major industries. It was until 2018 we were able to start the mass production of the fully flexible display from our 4.5 million square feet production campus. And in last October, we introduced the first foldable smartphone with a flexible display called Flex Pai in Beijing. And that was the first commercial foldable smartphone on the market. And earlier this year, actually in the first quarter, we started mass production shipment for the foldable smartphone for the consumer market. And we're very proud and humbled to become the first company to do so. And earlier this year, Louis Vuitton actually introduced the first handbag with our flexible display too. I will show you later. So that's just a brief history of our company, just in case you haven't heard about Royole before. Okay, so today we want to talk about a foldable smartphone. That's actually one of the major applications of the flexible displays. Look back to the history for the company to make this happen. Actually, I want to summarize it into 3 stages. The first stage is called 0 to 1 technology innovation stage. The second stage is 1 to N for the mass production. And now, for the foldable smartphone applications, there are many others. It's for N to N plus application innovations. This is actually a very old video. It's an ancient video. That was in 2014 when we first introduced the 0.01 millimeter flexible display. And now it looks like so old. I mean, it's nothing looks fancy, right? But this is still my favorite video because that's the first 0.01 millimeter flexible display. In the meantime, we actually introduced the flexible sensor, which is thin, flexible, and transparent. If you write on the sensor, write on the film, you can actually record exactly what you write. On top of the flexible film, there are actually a lot of tiny devices, micro, nano devices on top. Like for our flexible display for the phone, it's over 20 million transistors on top. It's so thin and so lightweight. It was over 6 million circuit units. So if you check that on a microscope, you can see there are really tons of devices on top. And to make it happen, we have to work with around 100 different micro nano materials. Along the way, we accumulate. Today, we have over actually 3,000 IPs globally. But the key features of the flexible displays are thin, lightweight, flexible and vivid color. Actually, the resolution is high enough for the smartphone applications and the pad application. Compared to the traditional like liquid crystal display and the curved display, I bet some of you may have the phone with curved edge. We call that curved display. Okay, so our display, we call that staccato wind display. It's a lot thinner, and also the weight is a lot less. Here's just a comparison for your reference. So that's the first stage for the company and also to make the device. Now, technology innovation is important. It's important, but not all. We have to do the mass production to make that technology available for different applications. So we have to do the facility to make the facility for the mass production. We started from scratch. It's about, the land size is about 100,000 square meters. And we have to do a lot of original work on assembly, on equipment design. And that's just a few pictures along the way when we build up the fab. And it's highly automated production facility. So most of the time you can't see any workers inside that. It's all automated. And the total construction area is about 400,000 square meters. Now it's already out of mass production since last year. So that's the picture when we had the first flexible display produced from the mass production line. I want to show you how thin, how lightweight it is. It's just the flexible display produced from our mass production line, as you can see here. So it's super lightweight. And it's very high resolution. And it's so thin, so you can tell from this side, right? And the resolution is high enough for consumer devices like smartphones and pad. Okay, so back to the applications. Mobile device, especially smartphone, is definitely one of the most important applications. If we look back to the history of the mobile device, back to the 1990s, feature phone was very popular and the shipment is huge. At that time, like Nokia and Motorola are very famous. And then back to 2007, when Apple introduced the first iPhone, which changed the way we interact with information by fingers and the touch screen. Then a lot of new companies jumping out from the smartphone industry, you know. And the user experience has been better and better in terms of lightweight, narrow bezel, longer battery life, and many other things. But still there are some fundamental issues there. For example, you have to buy a watch, you have to buy a phone, and you have to buy a pad or tablet. Because each device serve as different functions in your life. We want portability. We also want large screen visual experience. But there's a conflict in the traditional space. So can we do something to change the conflict, to change the problem, to solve the problem? That's why we decided to work on the foldable smartphone actually many years ago. But it was until last year we announced it. So Flex Pai is actually a video first. Alright, so that's the Flex Pai. This is my pocket. Actually, I'm using this every day. Not only me, actually a lot of users on the market too. It looks like a wallet. And when you open this, it looks like a traditional smartphone. So you have traditional apps installed out here. For example, we show you like 10-cent video, right? This is just like a traditional smartphone. But when you open this, check this out. So this is the cover. Take this off. When you open the device, it's a pad. And with the flexible display here, you can change the form factor from the pad to the phone anytime. Now, with this, if you want to watch video, it's a lot better than the traditional smartphone because of the big screen. You can also play games with better video, with better pictures. And then when you fold it, it's just back to the phone. And you can easily put it in a pocket. So that's the Flex Pai. It's a combination of the traditional phone and a pad based on flexible displays. So we introduced this device last October in Beijing. And it's super durable and it's super flexible. And the hinge actually is very important here to make this happen. Just like I showed you, if you want to make the devices transform from the phone to the pad, and the hinge around us in the middle is actually very, very important to make sure the device can survive for a long time. And also, we spent actually over 1,000 days to make the hinge. And the display here for the testing standard is actually very high. We have to test the bending of the flexible display for over 200,000 times. And this device is built on top of a Qualcomm Snapdragon 855. Because of the new interface, you can now actually combine the traditional aspect ratio of 4:3 for the pad and 18:9 or 16:9 together into a single device. So we call the operating system is based on Android, and we built up the new layers to make sure it's compatible with both the phone and the pad. So we call it the Royole OS. Now you can use it for many different situations, scenarios. Like large screen for movies, because you have dual speakers, so now you can make 3D sound. And also like big screen for gaming control, and multitask for more efficient work. And actually you fold it for selfie and also take pictures for others. So I'm going to run this fast because of time right now. Okay, so Flex Pai is pretty much a combination of the phone and the pad, and it just gives more advantage in terms of the size, the weight, and also the price. We're selling this at a price of 899 RMB, which is around 1,300 US dollars. So now you can actually buy that from our website, from Tmall, and also in retail stores. So actually, BBC put out Flex Pai as a very iconic phone in the telecommunication history. We are also very honored to receive the Best of Ces Award earlier this year. And now this is not a concept, not a prototype. It's a product on the market. We're already selling that online and also in retail stores. And you can see a lot of reviews from the users on the market. So, Flex Pai, the foldable smartphone, is one of the typical applications of the flexible displays. Actually, we can do a lot more with the flexible displays. That's what we call a Flexible Plus technology platform. Now, we're integrating the platform with a lot of products in different industries across transportation, smart home, office education, sports fashion, and media entertainment. I want to give you a very, very new example of how you can use the flexible display for fashion industry. So this is the latest announcement from Louis Vuitton. They actually put our flexible display into the handbag. And you can see that's an official announcement. And now, I just want to show you an example of how you can integrate the flexible display into the bag. This is our own example. And now it's not just a bag. It's a bag with the digital information and with more interactivity. You can think about more applications too. Another example is how you can use a flexible display for the trees. This is a tree actually in the Shenzhen airport and also some shopping malls. It's all flexible displays. 500 flexible displays for the leaves. You can show very high resolution pictures, videos, and we have a lot of customers put this in their shopping mall and new buildings. Okay, so Kevin Kelly actually mentioned a word called screening. They say we are becoming people of screen. Yes, we are, and we're still looking forward to building up the flexible future with all of you. Thank you.